everybody, it's Carrie from Macmillan Library, and we are here to do another Let's Make Lunch episode. And today's episode features a recipe called Lemony Broccoli Pasta, which I'm very excited about. It's a little bit different than your run-of-the-mill pasta dish, and it is healthy and it is delicious, and we're going to have fun making it. So, before we get started into the recipe, I do like to do a little trivia history kind of lesson in all of our episodes. Just, give you a little background on what it is you're eating. So today we're going to talk a little bit about the history of pasta in Italy. So noodles themselves have been around throughout the world for thousands of years. In Italy, they didn't really become popular and written about until the 13th century. And historians believe that because of all of the trade that Italy did in the Mediterranean during the Middle Ages, that's where they got pasta. And they brought it back to Italy, and then it became pretty popular. And then, so there's two different forms of pasta. There's dry pasta and fresh pasta. And dry pasta is really nice because it stores really, really well, and you can keep it for a very, very long time. It doesn't go bad. So in the 14th and 15th centuries, when Italy and Spain and all of those countries were doing a lot of exploring of the world in their ships, the Italians would take dried pasta aboard their ships, and they would eat that for meals. That also helped to spread pasta to other parts of the world. So tomato sauce, you think of, tomato sauce. That's huge, right, with pasta. But tomatoes weren't actually introduced to Italy until the 16th century. And the first mention of a tomato sauce served with pasta is not made until the 18th century, which is 200 years later. So before tomatoes and tomato sauce became a way that Italians ate pasta, they would cook it and eat it dry with their hands, with their fingers. So once they started putting the tomato sauce on it, they had to start using forks to eat it. So just a little known information about pasta and the history of pasta in Italy. For our recipe tonight, I'm going to go over the ingredients that we will be using. It's a fairly basic recipe. There are a few ingredients and not really a lot of special equipment or anything you need. So first of all, we're going to need 1/3 cup of olive oil. We're going to need a pound of spaghetti. You could probably use different types of pasta, different shapes, but I think spaghetti works pretty well with this, and that's what it called for in the recipe. The recipe calls for 3/4 cup of grated Parmesan cheese, plus some cheese to serve the pasta with. So I've got probably over a cup right here. I like Parmesan a lot, so I just kind of made some extra. A cup of frozen peas, salt and pepper, and of course, broccoli. So I've got a couple heads of broccoli that I chopped up into like bite-sized pieces, and then I rinsed them with water and drained them, and I've got them in the bowl. And the last ingredient is going to be lemon, because it is called Lemony Broccoli Pasta. So this recipe calls for the zest and juice of 1 medium-sized lemon. So the zest of a lemon is just the yellow part of the outside of the lemon. And before you zest it, you want to make sure you wash your lemon and dry it, which I've already done. So the very outside part, which is yellow, is the zest. Just underneath this yellow part is a white part, and that is called the pith, P-I-T-H. And the pith of the lemon is fairly bitter and it doesn't taste very good. So when you get the zest, you want to grate the zest off. You want to grate just the yellow part as much as you can. So I've got a small grater here, and this is what we're going to do. We're just going to You just keep moving it until you get that yellow part off. Oops, I'm missing my container here. And as you can see on the lemon, I'm just getting down to the yellow, the white, but I'm not actually getting the white off. So I keep turning my lemon. Every time I grate, I turn it a little bit. So I'm just finishing up zesting my lemon, and you can just see some of the yellow parts. The reason they have you use the zest of the lemon is that a lot of the lemon oils are in that skin, the lemon zest. And the oils give out a lot of really great flavors, lemony flavors. So we are now going to use the lemon for its juice. And there are a lot of seeds in lemons. So what I like to do is put the juice into my hand, squeeze it in. You can also use a little sieve or a colander or something like that if you'd like. I just feel like this is pretty fast. And I just catch as many of the seeds as I can, and the rest of the juice falls into my bowl. So we're going to juice both of these. The lemon in the pasta with the broccoli and the olive oil gives it just a really yummy, fresh flavor. Lemon juice it's just so nice and fresh, I think. I think that's a really good word for it. So we're going to get the other half of our lemon squeezed. Almost done. Can hear my water boiling on the pot on the stove. So we will be getting to that next. All right, I think that is about as much juice as I'm going to get out of that. Okay. Our lemon is all squeezed and ready to go. So the next step in our cooking process is going to be to make sure that our water is boiling. And as you can see, our water is boiling really nicely right now. Every chef that I've ever seen on TV says that your pasta water needs to be salted fairly heavily. So before you put the pasta in, you want to put a good couple of pinches of salt into your water, and it will bubble up, and it's very impressive. Once that is in, we're going to open our box of pasta, and like I said, it said 10 minutes to cook al dente. So at 8 minutes, I'm going to put the broccoli in with it and let the broccoli cook with the spaghetti. It's very efficient that way. All right, let's get our spoon in there and make sure all of our pasta is in the water. Looks good. And I'm going to set my timer for 8 minutes. And we're just going to let that cook for 8 minutes. And then we will be putting the broccoli in to boil as well. Our pasta is coming up to almost 8 minutes. We've got about 20 seconds left on the clock here. And we will be putting the broccoli in at the 8-minute mark. And we'll put the timer on for another 2 minutes and cook the broccoli. The peas will cook with the heat of the pasta, so I'm not worried about those. All right, so let's put this broccoli in. Let's give it a quick stir and set the timer for 2 minutes and just let that cook. The pasta and the broccoli are just finishing their cooking. There goes the timer right now. And what I want to do before I drain the pasta is I'm going to take a cup and I'm going to get just the water, about a cupful of pasta water. Pasta water is amazing because it has a lot of starch in it, and it is really good to mix with the pasta. I'm just going to drain this quick in the sink. Got a colander in there ready for me. The pasta water can be used to help the sauce stick to the pasta. That is one thing. It can be used if your pasta sauce is a little bit thick. You can use it for that, to thin it out, to stretch it out. There's a lot of good things you can do with pasta water. So I always try and save a little bit just in case I need it. So we're just going to save that to the side. So I've got my pasta and my broccoli drained in a big old colander, and I have got a big serving bowl set aside. Get as much water out as I can here. While I'm cooking the pasta, I do, particularly when I do spaghetti, I will stir it occasionally just to keep it from kind of clumping together, because it will do that a little bit. So there we are. The broccoli is nice and green and cooked really nicely. We're going to add our peas right in there. The heat from the pasta and the broccoli should warm up those peas in no time. Stir those in, get them heating up. All right, so then we just basically add in the rest of our ingredients. We're going to add some salt. There's a lot of pasta there, so I put in quite a bit of salt. And we're going to grind in some pepper. And because this is a fairly dry pasta dish, we probably will use some of that water that I saved. Stir those in. I like to use a spaghetti spoon. It's got these little tong things on the ends, not tongs, kind of forky looking things at the ends, so it kind of helps the pasta move around a little bit better. Doesn't that look pretty? All right, we're going to add our olive oil, 1/3 cup. Drizzle that through. We're going to add our lemon juice and zest. Stir all that together. Make sure you get everything coated nicely. It smells amazing in here. Once I put the lemon on, you could really, really, really smell that. It smells absolutely delicious. So we're just going to use a little bit of our pasta water, just a touch to start with. Make that nice, kind of, it's not so dry. And then we're going to put the Parmesan in. So let's get some of that going here. Save a little bit to put on top. The rest we will get through here. Doesn't that just look delicious? Once you add that cheese, it gives it a little saltiness and just really tasty. All right, and that is really all. It's a nice vegetarian dish if you just want to eat this for dinner. If you want to use it as a side dish, you could also do that, and have maybe some chicken or pork chops or burgers or whatever. You could have this on the side as well. It's a delicious and pretty fast weekday lunch or even a dinner. So I hope you've enjoyed today's Let's Make Lunch episode. And I hope you will join us again next time for Let's Make Lunch. Thanks. Bye.